Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's AllYouCanGeek Gamecast, episode 411. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gast, joined by Corey Feinsod.
Heyo.
Mike Sneedy. Whoa.
You threw yourself off, Jim.
Yeah. What just happened?
I don't
What's
know.
up?
And Tony Korkanakis.
Yo.
I don't even know what just... It's been a long week already. It's Tuesday.
It's a short week.
It's the first day of work, and I'm like...
You're having a case of the Mondays.
Yeah, it is a Monday, it feels like, and my brain is fried. Back to school time. So, anyways, welcome listeners, welcome viewers to the 411 of Gamecast. We have a fun topic tonight, recent controversy with the upcoming game coming out that we are going to discuss at length. And Tony's going to say he's right a lot. He was right a lot. He's going to say this a lot because I'm going...
I didn't even get in on this whole conversation.
This is going to happen.
Unfortunately.
It's going to happen. I can't get into it yet. Let's not get into it yet. But E3 just pisses me off more and more now. All right. First, we're going to kick this off with what we've been up to. I'll start us going here. I mentioned I've been playing a lot through Ni no Kuni 2, and I'm very frustrated with the fact that the game made me stop. It made me stop because I am beating the game, trying to beat the game with a level. I'm not leveling up side quests. I'm just trying to straight up beat the game and cheap the bosses and win so I can get the story. And I'm doing fine. I'm like 15 levels below the bosses, and I don't die during the fights, but I have to use a lot of potions and stuff, and I stay alive. But I'm moving through the game without having to level up my characters through the grind, because I'm like, I don't want to grind. If I have to grind, this game's going to take me hours. So I'm on chapter 7 now, but the game literally just made me stop and have to recruit people for my kingdom to continue. So I had to stop and do side quests, and they slow you down. I'm so annoyed because I'm like, obviously Spider-Man's coming, and I want to finish this game.
Having a similar problem.
Yeah, I want to finish this game beforehand, and I have 3 chapters left because 7. I just started 7, so 7, 8, 9 are the chapters. I don't even know how I'm going to finish this in time. It's going to be because I don't even know if they're going to make me stop again to level up my kingdom with recruits, and I'm like, this is stupid. But so I decided what I'm going to do.
Go ahead.
I am disappointed with the game. I'm not saying that it's a terrible game, but there's nothing exceptional about it.
I think the fact that you're putting pressure on yourself is coloring your opinion on this game.
Well, I don't think there's anything it does exceptionally. I'm not like...
No, I understand, but I'm just saying you're trying to rush through something instead of sitting back and enjoying it, let it wash over you.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Pressure of trying to finish it.
There's some air quotes around rush. When did the game come out?
Yeah, it's my fault.
I'm just saying he is pressuring himself.
It's my fault for restarting. If I didn't restart, I probably would have been fine. I would have been finished this last week.
I do feel like to me what you're saying is it sounds like Spider-Man's looming and you're pressuring yourself to finish this, so you're not letting yourself enjoy what the game is offering you.
So I would just say stop playing the game.
That's what's
play Spider-Man, and if you want to go back to it, then go back to it.
This is what's going to happen. I'm not restarting this game a third time, but I will be stopping. I will be stopping this game to play Spider-Man. So that's what's happening. Because you're right. There's parts of this game.
Just write notes down on like what you need to do, so that way when you do pick it up, you be like, oh, that's right, I need to do this.
Yeah, I mean the thing is like I have. What's funny is like I as I was playing the restart, I'm like, I remember this stuff. I was skipping scenes, so I'm like, I do remember this. Okay, so I'm like, it was stupid of me, but
it was interesting. I was listening to a podcast, and someone was actually talking about how like, do you take breaks when you do like play games or things like that? And one of the tips that someone says, if you do want to take a break during like a 100-hour game, right, like have a journal, so that way you know what story beats you're like into and stuff. So like have that like little. Like you can either have like a journal in your phone or like actually write it down.
The game automatically takes screenshots, so they do that.
Lots
in the game.
of games have like codexes and stuff like that too.
So that's what it does have.
Serve that purpose.
So yeah, I'm going to be stopped playing this because I'm going to be playing Spider-Man immediately on Friday night into Saturday, and I'm off on Monday again for school. We start school this week, and I'm off again, so I'll be playing Monday all day. So going to be playing a lot of Spider-Man before the next podcast. So. So that's all I've really been up to game-wise.
Monday. Yeah. Monday's the first day I'll get a chance to play it. I'll be away all weekend.
Yeah. I'm doing stuff, but I'm going to be able to play it Sunday, and I'm going to play it Saturday for a couple hours, and a couple hours here and there. 3 hours each day, roughly, plus the main day on Monday, so have a good amount of time into it. But, Mike, what have you been up to?
Well, I'm in a similar boat with The Witcher as you. Spider-Man is looming, but I'm not rushing through it anymore, because if there's a strength to this game, it's that there is so much to do. And it took me 10 levels in, but I finally feel like I'm getting powerful. Because early on, I'm just flailing away. I have no idea what I'm doing. I really didn't.
No, it's just the way you said it. It's like,
No, that's like a perfect description of what was happening. I didn't realize until at least level 8 or 9 how to actually activate my new abilities that you could get. Because it's very
gym a little bit there.
Yeah.
So, by the way, I have done that in Ni no Kuni too, but go on.
You get ability points each time you level up, and you have like this tree that goes down of like, your base abilities, and then you can add one and expand. It sort of expands like the effectiveness of things or whatever. So they're each slots. There's like 5 for each thing on like different colors or whatever. But apparently you need to choose them even after you unlock them and bring them to this thing on the right, which has these other slots to activate them. Otherwise, whatever you put in there doesn't do anything. You need to only choose like 6 or something at first to activate. I wasn't doing that at all for the like first 8 levels of this game, so I wasn't getting better at all. And I'm like,
that's why the game was felt like you were flailing.
And now I finally figured it out. And there's the mutagens. It's way complicated, but I'm finally understanding it and getting like actually leveled up and stuff.
You're actually excited for Cyberpunk?
I mean, I've been excited for Cyberpunk because I just knew this game's reputation and knew that that's a world I can get into more. But
sure.
Yeah, I just hope I can understand their systems too from the beginning.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying it more than I was. It's still just a lot. I finally got to like a big city, which is the first sort of different looking locale, because everything else is just kind of like marshes, trees, which was kind of boring for a while. But now I'm in like the game's biggest city, Novigrad, and that's different, so it's pretty cool. There's still too many characters to keep track of, honestly, as far as all the side quests and all these old characters. And then, again, I still feel like 60% of the characters you run into you're supposed to recognize from a previous game, and I don't. So I feel like I'm missing something, even though everyone everywhere I read online said, "Oh, you don't need to play the previous games. You'll be all right." Screw you guys. But it's okay now. It's compelling enough where I want to get through it, but I don't think I'm not gonna power through it in time. I'll probably have to take a break. It's not compelling enough where I'm gonna put Spider-Man on the back burner any more than I am because I'm waiting for my birthday on the 12th, which is already a few days late.
Yeah.
But so we'll see what happens by the 12th. But I'm enjoying it more, but it's still super overrated.
Yeah. All right, Tony, what have you been up to?
Let's see. Playing more Octopath Traveler. That game is definitely not getting finished before Spider-Man. And I'm not trying to, because the thing is,
it's the right way to do it.
I mean, the perfect part about this is Octopath on the Switch. And the Switch is primarily how I'm getting any games finished these days anymore, just because, like...
It makes sense, because it's accessible. It really is.
Yeah, it's accessible. And, like, the thing is, like, sometimes, like, the beauty of it has been, there's been times where, like, maybe it sounds weird, but, like, I don't feel like sitting on the couch and playing on the big screen. I was kind of, like, lay in bed or lay on the couch and, like, have something on, like, Netflix or YouTube or Twitch or whatever, like, something I don't really have to pay attention to. And I'll just game that way. I don't know what, it's just how I started doing a lot of things. So that'll be fine. Spider-Man will be my, like, when I'm here in my apartment.
So you plan on playing it when it comes out?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh. Absolutely, 100%. I mean, that's been my most anticipated game up until Smash Brothers got shown off for this year. Yeah. But, Smash Brothers isn't still for another 3 months, so... Yeah. Plenty of time for Spider-Man.
Cool. That's it.
When does Xeno come out? Xenoblade?
In 3 weeks. This month is insane. Well, I mean, the next couple months are insane. So there's that, which is supposedly 30 to 40 hours. What else? Red Dead
Spider-Man, I guess, is probably around 30 hours or so.
Actually, I heard it was only
only 15. I heard.
I'm gonna guess it's shorter on the shorter end. I was gonna go under 20.
Campaign-wise, I'm saying like 100%ing it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I rarely 100% games anymore, so we'll see. And there's just a lot of stuff coming.
Oh, there is a lot.
Red Dead, like I said, there's there's a bunch of what else is our anticipated list is already.
There's Red Dead. There's
You know what I'm looking forward to?
Smash Brothers.
I can't. I'm not even gonna lie that I'm kind of interested in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I mean this.
I would if I didn't feel like I just played the last one.
No, I know how you
just
feel.
played the last one.
Yeah.
You did. And the thing is, because I've never played an Assassin's Creed, this might
That's what I'm
because
saying.
it's Greek.
Same here.
Like this one might be the one that breaks that streak. But even if it is, it's not going to be until a Black Friday typical
Sure.
Ubisoft half off, $30.
Yep.
Brand new.
No,
Like,
definitely
that's-
that would be it. But
Yeah.
I am interested in getting it this year. I think if it's $25 or $30, I will probably snag it. So
Yeah, same here.
so yeah. I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff though early in the year that Red Dead Redemption or later in the year. Red Dead
Oh.
Redemption's my big game.
Yeah.
So what else?
Mega Man 11 next month.
Oh yeah.
This was a bad time for me to actually get into Witcher 3.
Yes, it was.
Should have
done it over
planned this.
earlier summer.
I mean, I tried. I tried twice.
I know.
Didn't
I
work.
know. It's
Are you gonna
it's
play
funny, it's
Fallout
like-
76, Mike?
Oh, that's coming out too, but I'm not interested in that.
If I
My interest
if
has
I
dropped
can,
in that, by the way. Just
if
so you
I
all
can
know.
find like friends to play it with, maybe, but otherwise, I don't know. Well,
Yeah,
we'll
that's a
see
game-
how it
my interest-
comes out. But
My interest, I gave that I think
I
a couple
might.
points on our anticipated
might.
list. I think
Let's
I'm
see.
I'm dropping
You gave
that.
it 3.
Yeah, I would drop that to a 1 now, because Mike's at the same point. Like, unless multiple people play it, my interest is low, and that means also it's not a $60 game for me. It's not a day one purchase, so it's like
I'm the only one that gave Assassin's Creed Odyssey any points.
I know, but now I have Assassin's Creed. I'm like interested in it, so
It's for Ryzen.
yeah, so it's got good
Have to
stock.
Visit our
Good
hype
stock,
list.
Yeah.
it's that
All
episode.
right, Corey, what have you been up to?
Mostly Destiny.
Oh, okay.
Forsaken got dropped Tuesday.
Yeah, that's
as
right.
we are recording this, and I like that. I saw it was like the third thing watched on Twitch was pretty neat. But it's a really good open. I did play a little before we started the podcast, so I got like an hour in through the first mission, and it's really really cool. Like they've revamped the entire thing. They've made it so that way, like the people that are big into collecting and just like farming and stuff, like they've made it so that way there are things to do constant. So that is like a huge factor, whereas
What's funny is-
the first iteration of this game did not have that at all.
I actually think I could see myself next year. No, it's too much early next year. Revisiting it, but I don't know when I'll have time.
There's so many games right
It's
now.
just like that's so hard.
Too
Like
many
Devil May
to do.
Cry, I have to play. I'm actually
That
interested-
beginning of next year is just too packed.
Yeah, it
But
is.
as far as like what they're offering right now is it's the game that again it should have been when it first came out, and
That's what I'm saying. Like I could
don't
see myself
understand-
actually maybe in December playing some of it.
but yeah, and just I don't understand why they have to take a year to figure it out. Like they
Because
should
they
have
don't learn. Because they don't learn.
So, but that now they've learned air quotes what the people want, and it's really cool like to see the evolution of this game.
We need to go back to Taken King's episode and listen to your comments on Taken King. I
Cool.
really want to go. I would love to
dropped
do a
off of Destiny,
side
really.
by
We all
side.
did.
Yeah, but Taken King, I think you said almost the exact statement.
This is like and this is the Taken King of this game,
Yeah.
and it's the biggest expansion they've done.
And that's when you got me back into the game. I got back into Taken King
Yeah,
for
you were
quite a
in there.
while. Yeah, for
Wow.
quite a while. But
And you got Mike into it.
yeah, I did, and I got out. I got him into it. I was like, oh, I'm out. So
But yeah, it's been
All right,
great,
cool.
and them doing like, and if you've seen the material, you know that they killed off like their most popular character in this
Yes,
game, which
yes.
is crazy to think about. Like you don't kill your most popular character in a game usually, but it does like influence what's going on here, and it's neat to see that.
yeah,
It's gonna come back like Superman anyway.
yeah, he will. Nobody stays dead.
If they bring him back, then that's it. Like that's what's the point? Why?
Well, why? What are we all doing this for?
yeah.
All right.
Because there's lore for bringing people back from the dead in this game, and they specifically go out of their way to make sure that that thing is not possible. So it's like, well, that's dumb.
Yeah.
If they bring him back.
All right.
I let my PS Plus lapse.
Oh,
for
yeah?
the first time in years.
I haven't turned my PlayStation on since the end of season 10 of
Do I even-
Overwatch.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what I
haven't played
need it
any
for right
season
now.
one.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for Spider-Man. Really, I'm like I tried to keep up with the seasons, but I'm like, all right, I got the first 10 emblems. I'm good.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Gaming news. What do we have? Oh, Sony still won't commit to any crossplay whatsoever for Fortnite, saying that
Nope.
their platform is the best place to play Fortnite on, and they don't feel they need to interface with anybody else.
Arrogant Sony.
Yep.
And this is the president.
This is the president.
of
Yeah.
Sony.
Yeah.
This isn't like some executive on a lower level or anything like that, or like just one region. This is like head of
Top
Sony.
brass.
Yeah, it's
like,
unbelievable. There's no changes coming from them this generation. Can it happen next gen? Sure, but it's not happening this generation. So, if you have a PlayStation 4 and want to play with your friends, go get an Xbox, or you can get a Switch. Switch has it too. So
Or a PC.
or a PC, which
Or
oh
if you
my
want to play
God.
on your phone, play on your phone.
So you should. The recruitment over the weekend for me from Buddha was insane for Master Race. He wants me to build a PC so badly. He's like, you should just do it. Because he's like, why would you have a console? He's like, why not just do a PC? Everything's compatible. And I'm like, well, yeah. It was like we were sitting around the campfire for a couple hours probably chatting about that. So, not saying
I agree that you should build a PC, but
not having a console.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I don't. There's so many good exclusives.
There's still too many good exclusives like SpiderMan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Red Dead, it won't be on PC for probably another year because that's how Rockstar.
Yeah, and I'll have it done by then easily. So,
Yeah.
all right. What
See,
else?
that's what I understand. Like, I can see making you like trying to, persuade you to do PC, like build a
He
PC.
likes to
I mean,
Like,
you've done that
sometimes-
too. Like you've persuaded, like it said, "Hey, you should do this. Jump on the Master Race." But still, yeah.
Sometimes
there
though, it's
are
like he likes to
reasons
just
have
take
consoles.
that. Sometimes he likes to take his arguments and just go to the extreme end of it just to have fun. I think he does it on purpose. So
Absolutely,
No, of course.
100%.
he may have been doing that with me at the campfire because we were drinking. So
Plus,
Yeah.
he likes to egg you on. a
yeah, he
little
likes to
bit.
egg me on, knowing that.
I mean,
love
yeah, I'd love for you guys to have PCs so we could play a lot of stuff. Actually, I didn't mention this, but Corey, we started playing Gloomhaven on Tabletop Simulator,
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
and like after
Sure.
like doing this is like mind
I
blowing.
have Tabletop Simulator on my service.
I didn't know that. We should definitely play
Dude,
some games.
how many board games I have? Come on, you didn't know.
I didn't know that.
I spent full price on that shit too.
Oh,
It's
did
on
you?
sale all the time.
Yeah, I know. But we played Gloomhaven, and it's literally just like
Yep.
a recreation of.
And you can play a lot
Physical
of
board
games.
Oh, yeah,
in
absolutely.
progress, like the ones
Yeah.
that are still not out yet. Like,
Yeah.
hey, here's what the game is supposed to be. Like, check it out.
Really?
Tell us what you think, and like,
Cool.
and then they actually work on it. Like Nemesis, I think, is a game that's on Kickstarter that it's not out yet, and you can play it right now and just
Yeah.
get the developers'
And
feedback.
you know what I'll say? I think this actually is my personal number one reason for VR being a thing, because I think this would be really cool. In
Tabletop
VR.
Simulator.
Tabletop Simulator, just be like able to virtually play like a board
See
game.
somebody
It
else
sounds
across from
silly,
you, yeah.
but like, yeah, I think that is such a cool idea. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why. Just
That's
really appeals to
interesting. Yeah. It's funny is that the thing that makes it solo about VR makes it great for tabletop gaming virtually.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I
so-
played Dice Throne, which is a really good game for Tabletop Simulator because it's kind of simple and
Oh yeah, but that actually reminds me. I was at my friend's house who does have like a big VR rig, and I played Robo Recall, which is like the biggest. Like I think it's like the
Epic game.
the most
Yeah.
the most like built up version of a VR game so far. It's like the closest thing to a real game. It was all right. It was cool. We
It's all right.
Oh my gosh, this reminds me of something I was watching the other day. It was like this this guy's got a magic show on Netflix.
The one
And
that
one of-
like is just there when you turn Netflix on all the time.
Basically, one of the episodes is him like doing a bit where he has virtual reality and he makes them levitate while they're doing virtual reality, and he's like, oh, like so they don't realize they're levitating, and he's like, so how does it feel like? It's like you're in virtual reality and you're levitating. Does it feel real? And they're like, oh no, that was fake. It didn't feel real at all. But like on
Yeah,
camera,
actually-
you see them like actually levitating.
That's funny.
Cool. All right. Other news we have just two Anthem things with story DLC will be free for Anthem, and the demo comes out February 1st of next year. So
That means they'll take a full like year and a half to release it, just like Battlefront 2 is like, oh yeah, we'll have all this DLC.
No,
There's-
this game is launching.
There
This is-
hasn't.
It's EA. It's
Well,
launching.
the DLC, who knows when that's coming?
No, the DLC I mean takes
Oh, the
like
DLC?
a year and a half later, like because
Oh yeah. Like, after
Battlefront 2
everybody's done with this game, we're good.
the first new character for Battlefront 2 is going to be like a full year after release. A full year. It's ridiculous.
well,
Yeah, but
that
that's-
game was also an exception because they've been fixing it since day one.
But that I know, but like I don't know how much sooner the like character would have happened. It had nothing to do with like the economics of their loot boxes.
They did delay Battlefield, so it could happen
Yeah.
to delay. They have this is unprecedented. They actually delayed a month, so
Well,
Yes.
it's the Red Dead effect.
I know. Yes, it is, and their stock tanked for some reason. That's the 10% down. It went 10% down drop from delaying Battlefield, which is weird because that game has no hype. I heard that game was low on pre-orders.
It shows a lack of confidence.
Fake news, Jim.
Oh, was it fake news? Fake news.
Just
people were basing off of just, I think, Amazon pre-orders, but like I don't even think it was available because Amazon was not putting them up because they didn't want people getting the 20% off bonus because they're greedy.
Yep.
Right.
So we gotta go Best Buy.
Yes. I mean, I still think Battlefield pre-orders are down from what they expect or want.
I agree.
But yeah, that's the thing is like if the game, like these games which are multiplayer centric, if they're not doing well, there's little incentive to get them to rush out the DLC. Like they'll take their time with it. Not to rub salt in the wound, but I mean, you look at Mass Effect Andromeda, like game didn't sell well, so like why bother spending money on this again? Just cut your losses and move on.
Yeah.
Battlefront, like I mean, sure, it still sold a couple million copies or whatever, but like if they had to turn off the lights for the microtransaction, they're not making money. There's no incentive for them to really like rush the DLC out because the game's just already toxic.
Well, each character has all these different skins now that like they can spend money on separately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. That's it for news. Let's get into our topic of the night, which is Spider-Man for PS4. Last week.
Yes.
It's not the topic. It's the E3 and the fact that
the big like game show.
We'll call them fake
conference.
games. Let's call it fake games.
We should do a list of like most improved, most like downgraded.
Well, I wrote like the top 5 E3 controversies as a possible idea for in the future.
Yeah.
Sure, we should definitely cover that at some point. Obviously, if you don't know what's going on here, Spider-Man at E3 showed a really good shot of Spider-Man like hanging from the warehouse rafter where he's looking down at these villains, and there's a giant puddle on the ground with great reflections, and there was great detail on Spider-Man. For me, I thought so. For me, the next shot that I saw after that, and this is why I pasted it into our Discord, was there was no detail on Spider-Man. I completely missed the fact that the puddle was gone, essentially, like it's tiny. But
what's funny is like I saw that after, because I didn't actually get to comment on the whole thread when we were in Discord during the time you were talking about. But I saw, I was like, oh, I like Spider-Man's look in the second image better.
You do. He looks more washed out.
More comic booky.
No, yeah, he looks flat and washed out to me.
No, I thought he looked more like comic booky, and the other one's
he looks oranger.
Yeah, he's orange,
shiny, and like
that's what that suit would be in real life, shiny.
Sure.
I don't know. I just think it would. I didn't like the lower. You can see the lighting effects are all gone. Like,
but I mean, that's not even what this whole thing was triggered by.
It went into Puddlegate.
Yeah, because that's the main thing they show, and like all the. You think it's a typical sort of like hardware like. It's a type of effect that gets changed when you like change the hardware, sort of. So that's where everyone focused, like the environmental puddle effects and like how much it's there, how much of the reflection is there. Unbelievable
that we got this game in June at E3 running on probably a PC at that point to show it better. Like that's what's wasn't that what we got then? I mean, that's what we got.
Saying
well,
that it's people
are reporting that it was a PS Pro. That they were there and they saw it was a PS Pro.
Now, I would assume they would be playing on a Pro, but
I don't know if they were tricked or if they're lying. But that's what
it could have also not been as fluid. Maybe they dropped the resolution down to make it more frames. Maybe they did something like that. But it's like we said though before. I mean, this is what Tony's talked about for a long time.
But technically, Jim, you read the Eurogamer article. It's technically not downgraded at all.
Yeah, well, I don't that's. There's 2 pictures though. Like I don't understand. Like you can like
how can you? I don't even
point to a bunch of like techno babble and say it isn't, but then it's like then why does it look different or worse?
I mean, one of the guys said is the time of day.
So somebody was trying to argue that the lighting effects on Spider-Man were the biggest problem.
They did change the puddle.
He couldn't explain the puddle. He couldn't explain the puddle. But he's like, as an animator, as somebody who designs, it's more about saying that hey, this lighting effect is going to cause this character to look this way, and the boss going, just do it. And so they do it.
Because if you watch that video, you can watch up until the 3-minute mark without spoilers, I believe. They go through it. They literally go through it. So I totally understand some people being concerned with the puddles, but like this is one of the cases where like it was an artistic decision to change things, and they just couldn't put the puddles back in a way that made whatever else they changed, like do his costume and lighting and stuff like that. Where I argue is you clearly see games and things that are trailers that like are proof of concept, where it's like, hey, this game is going to be...
They have a build for the best looking thing that they can. And it's only a segment of the game, so like you can take that out and make it the best possible thing that you can show. And that happens all the time.
Well, that's my big problem. That's my big problem with E3. Like that's my big problem.
I think by now though, you should sort of be conditioned to assume that video from E3 is going to look a bit better than the final product, because it almost is. I didn't really understand the big Watch Dogs controversy back then.
That was the biggest one.
Yeah,
that was the biggest one, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, again, this is coming from me. I'm a console gamer always. I don't care about these little details all that much, as long as the game doesn't look like trash. And I didn't think Watch Dogs looked like trash. I wasn't super excited about like all the little details that people loved from the first trailer. The puddles, again, I don't care about them. The fact that Spider-Man looks a little different, I'm like, oh, that is different, but
You don't think it's like being sneaky and like underhand and like misinforming people?
I mean, maybe it was 10, 15
this is
years
moved
ago,
into
the first
E3
time it happened, but it happens every year.
I know, and that's the problem for me
Every
for
trailer,
E3. From going forward to E3, from this point, I'm not going to look and say, I will not make a statement. That game looked great, because you're not going to say anything.
I mean, at this point, you have to be conditioned to know that these people are giving you the best possible on the highest end PCs, best possible like vertical slice that you said, Tony, of the game at the current state that they could give it to you.
To me, it's almost like being surprised if you see like a celebrity in real life and be like, oh, that he or she is not as good looking as I thought they were.
That's an interesting comparison.
Well, I get the comparison you're making, Mike, and I'm not saying that that's not the type of analogy, but here's the thing. When these companies are on the stage, they're saying, hey, here's our proof of concept of the next hottest AAA game. Mm-hmm. This is what you like. This is the experience we want to sell you on. And it's like, okay, great. And then all these people, because here's the thing, the video game industry is primarily built on hype, because they want to build that rapport with the customer. They want people to go out and pre-order that. They want their game to be like the most talked about game, because that will lead to success, because that's a way for them to
when
gauge.
You're in the buzz, when your hashtags are out there on the Twitters and
you want that. I know you want that.
So there's a difference between There's the difference between somebody being like, hey, we couldn't do it on the hardware. Like I can understand the beginning of the generation where like Nintendo or more likely Sony and Microsoft are like, hey, here are the specs we're going to have for their systems.
They give them dev kits, not actually the final specs too.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So with that, usually it's more like it'll get better as you approach the release date. But there are companies where it's like flat out like, this game, right away. Like I'll say No Man's Sky. First second I saw that at the first E3 they showed off, I was like, that's bullshit. Like 100%, that's fucking bullshit. Yeah. That game will not look like that when it fucking gets released.
You can almost play a game next year at E3 about finding that bullshit meter. Like, which one is in that? We're going to get misrepresented by some company about what their game is at that point in time, and which one is it? Like, you can almost like, it's almost like a lot
which
of them.
Which one is not?
Yeah, which one is not? Which one's going to get upgraded, and which one's going to actually show you a real demo of the game?
Does anything get upgraded?
God of War did, apparently.
God of War did. Nintendo games are actually they'll get upgraded because
they did actually.
The way Nintendo develops it is they do the base game or like whatever, get it working, and then they spend the traditional crunch time polishing and polish, and that's what they do. That's how it works. Most of the time, it's for the Western developers. Usually, it's crunch time is like, hey, we either have to like massively overhaul thing X because it's not as cool or as fun as the testers are saying we thought it would be, and or just bug fix it. Like that. So like I don't have a problem where it's like, hey, we missed the mark on it, but there are clearly companies that are entirely deceptive. Like, and again, I'll cite the book by Jason Schreier, Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, where the developers of...
Well, that's the thing. I think that helps us knowing that was what goes on. It amplifies this for me now.
Right, where they talk about Halo Wars. Remember how they're like... Like, everybody knew, like, hey, we're creating this awesome, like, proof of concept, like, vertical slice,
for E3.
And we knew this game is going to be bullshit. Like, that's entirely bullshit.
This is not going to be... None of this stuff is going to actually be in the game.
Right, exactly. It's just, like, that's the stuff where I'm like, you're fucking scummy, and, like, that's why, like, nope.
Just, I mean, the Alien
really hurts
Marines
my
was a great
excitement.
one, too.
It hurts my E3 excitement. Not that I get, like, crazy excited for stuff anymore.
But, I mean, there are companies that you can trust to, be pretty close to.
And to be fair, for again back to Spider-Man with this,
Yes,
I think this is within a standard deviation of what was presented. Like I don't feel like it's that big of a deal.
Is this going to ruin the game for me? Probably not. No. It's just it's still kind of like wow. For me that was a big. It looked like a big difference for me. I mean, that's all.
I think once you play it, it'll be.
Yeah, I want to see it.
I mean, I looked at some other pictures, and it's different. It's just again, it could be the lighting that's different because I like the blue part of his suit better in the new version, but the red part I like it better in the old version.
Yeah, I do see what you're saying. It's a little more orange than red, but no, I think
again these are images.
It's still images for a moving.
We don't see it moving. We're not seeing it in play. Whereas like a lot of times we see like the video game being air quotes played and it's not being played. I mean, it's just a video like that was pre.
But at this point, again, the public is very conditioned to mistrust these E3 videos.
Yeah, that's why this became
this little thing. People are going crazy over these puddles, which.
And that's the thing that bugged me. Like, because again, like just like you said, Jim. Like I've been saying this for years, and it's like
that's what I'm saying.
This is the game that people finally decided to like. No, I'm gonna take a stand right here. This hill, Spider-Man for PS4. That's what I'm dying on right now. It's like, what? Like No Man's Sky was literally 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like
apparently, I heard someone say it's really good now too. By the way.
Oh yeah, the new patch is supposed to be great. For it, so.
I'm sure it is.
People playing it all the time on my friends list.
Nick said Buddha's playing that all the time. That's why he plays.
Well, again, he got it for free on.
He's who I heard say that. That's right.
Yes, we were on the. That was the conversation we were having. That was PC conversation right there. Mm-hmm. But I just I'm not saying this ruins this game for me. I am shocked that it looks like that, and it makes me more skeptical about the game. But I want to see it before I make that final judgment.
Again, I don't know. The thing is, for me, Jim, like, why? Why does it make you skeptical?
Because it makes me like, I'm wondering if it's going to look as good as I've seen the other images now that I've seen this one image that doesn't look good at all.
But I think if you look at the other image, because I posted a couple other images, you clearly see like upgrades, like there's more cars on the street, or there's extra details, or like the one with the helicopter going down. Like if you look at those two images, like the new build, like the final retail build, is clearly better. In terms of what you're getting. It just they changed Spider-Man's model for whatever reason, artistic reason or technological.
Yeah, and who knows? It could have been like a minor like color change. Like, hey, we can't get this color if we want to put these 3 extra cars out. Do you want to put the 3 extra cars? Do you want the color?
Right.
Yeah. It's also crazy thinking about how they're going to have like double-digit costumes for them too, and how all of those will react with this lighting system too.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So that's the thing. Is like we're and I could be wrong. I'm not going to say definitively, but just based on what Digital Foundry, who I trust after years of doing this, they're like, don't worry, let's play the game on Friday. You'll see, like it's not as bad as.
They do analyze things quite like crazy. So when that stuff
drops,
they have
a crazy HDR slider, and who knows what the settings were on that image, the second image.
That's
like,
true.
You don't know
it could have been oversaturated. It could have been.
People like that's the thing is like it's a still image, and you don't know what the still image is.
Do we know where? Yeah. Do we know who put this up first or where it came from? That original.
Some Twitter guy tweeted that and saying like, "Hey, Puddle, blah blah blah, Puddle."
So I mean, you don't know.
Right, and it could be.
That's why it just blew up because it's the internet and people are stupid and not like want to like do their own research into things and
well, I mean,
and they don't trust developers because we've been burned before.
And that's the thing. Like don't get me wrong. Like I'm not saying people are stupid to be cautious or skeptical or whatever. But like when there's proof and they still don't like at least like take a step back and be like, well, let me like play it.
Let's play.
Like if any of you guys were like, I'm gonna boycott this game because I'd be like. Really? Like, out of all the games that we've like witnessed each other play and purchase and stuff like this, again, this is the game you're gonna die on for, like.
And
if this turned out to be what happened with Watch Dogs, I know. If this actually turned out to be what Watch Dogs was, where that downgraded as much as that was, I may make that statement.
Things were missing, completely missing. Like enemies, less cars, less pedestrians on the streets. Like
that's what it was. That game was missing a lot of that, and that if this had done that, but apparently that's not what the case is.
They just changed the way the puddles looked in that thing. It's like, and then, come on.
And I don't even think this really like hurt the general perception of this game too much because I'm looking up at like the reviews and like someone put up an 8.7, and people were criticizing them for having it so low. So I think that
IGN was 8.7.
Yeah. So the general feelings about this game are still overwhelmingly positive. I don't think.
Oh
this
yeah, absolutely.
Really
Yeah.
hurt it too much.
I'm still anticipating this like crazy.
Hovering around the highs right now.
But I mean, you could take a look at it. In a second time to reference this game, but like you look at Mass Effect Drama, and you could see how something like where like all the bugs in that, and like I don't remember the trailers for that, but I do remember some people saying like, oh, this is downgraded from what they first showed off or whatever, where it's just like that completely killed that game. I mean, you looked at all those memes that were coming out, you looked at the streamers that were playing it just to like be like, look at all these like weird things that are happening. This game is so broken, so bad, la 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 la. Like that's that's a different type of like, oh look, like Spider-Man is a little bit more orange than whatever. So
and we're gonna have so many costumes anyways. I'm probably not using that costume to begin with.
But I will say the benefit of this is people should at least now take that behavior going forward and be like,
yes,
and what I'm being shown is this.
Question what you see. Question
real?
What you see. The truth is out there.
And that's why, like, when people are like, that's the thing that I don't get with, because back in the day, CGI trailers was like, a selling feature of the game. Like, you look at like Blizzard games with their CGI trailers. You look at Square Enix.
They still do them.
Right, they still do them. But like back then, it was so important. Nowadays, people still get excited for it. I'm like, all right, I get it to a degree. Like, I'm always happy when they reveal like an Overwatch one. But like with like Halo Infinite, or just like a CGI trailer, maybe, But I'm like, I can't get hyped for that. Like, obviously, I know you're working on a new Halo game, and okay, great, you showed me like 10 seconds of somebody standing there. Like, I can't get excited for that.
Yeah,
like,
no,
and especially nowadays, like, I can't get excited for that.
I agree. I mean, that's it. That's the lesson I've learned from the situation is to just, that's it. My hype levels cannot go up past nothing, but that's it. So I'm not going to be fooled.
Yeah,
so.
And I think the smarter developers, or at least a bunch of the smart developers, are learning that, and that's why they're not announcing or showing off their games so far in advance. I mean, you look at like Nintendo, or looking at like, oh, like we don't know what their 2019 line is looking like.
Yeah.
But actually, supposedly in another week we're getting a Nintendo Direct, but if not, we usually get one right around the beginning of the new year, and they're just like, bam, like, here you go. Like, Jim, remember, like, you're like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, like, no way that's coming out this year.
Yeah.
No way. It's like, bam, it is. So, like, and even now Sony and Microsoft, they've adapted that model.
They're learning.
Right. Because they got, like, Microsoft got burned so hard with...
Crackdown?
Well, not only Crackdown, but the Dragon game, the Platinum game, was it?
Scalebound?
Scalebound. Thank you, yeah.
They got burned by that because they showed it off so early, and it's like, oh, we canceled it. Like, oops. Yeah. Like, okay, well... Why'd you show it off that early if, like, the proof of concept wasn't good enough to, turn into a full game? Yeah, sure. And then I think Sony, too, with, I'm trying to think what their longest game was.
Last Guardian was one.
Last Guardian was, like, so many years. Like, it spanned 2 generations. Like, It's just, you got to know when you can control the hype levels. Yeah, show it off, you have a hype levels, it'll go dip down a little bit, and then towards the end of the release, you can, hype up the marketing, the marketing campaign.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like the new.
Even Uncharted 4, they announced that too early.
Too early, yeah.
Yeah, Corey, I remember you're like, you and I made a bet. You're like, Uncharted 4 for 6 months of PlayStation 4, and I was like, nope.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's gonna wrap up 411. Of this podcast.
Now you know.
Yeah, now you know. I hope it was informative.
Tune in next week. You'll get to hear some early impressions or some impressions, full impressions or whatever of Spider-Man, depending on how long the game is. We'll know about this controversy if it's controversy or the game still looks amazing. So I'll be playing it on HDR and 4K, so I'll let you know. And
it'll look fine.
It'll be pretty right certain before I'm able to play it, unfortunately.
Like Corey, if you open your window, you'll probably hear my PlayStation 4 fan from where I'm at, but yeah. So, but we'll be playing it on that. So tune in next week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Write us podcast at AllYouCanGeek.net. Follow us on Twitter, AllYouCanGeek. Like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you guys next week.